Okay, everybody's got a fucking podcast. I mean, we have a podcast, so obviously anyone can do it.
Wait, this is a podcast?
Are you recording right now?
Technical difficulties.
No, you don't have to say anything. I'm going to edit it out.
Technical difficulties.
Okay. I put mayonnaise on a pickle.
Yo, I know y'all ain't playing skee ball. I'm trying to go to bed.
Do my feet... I mean, my feet stink, right?
Yeah.
Words.
Look at that. Hey!
Hey! Well, what's up?
How's it going, man?
Oh, you know, it's another day in paradise, as the white people say. Or the retail worker says when that's just, you know, translation for, hey, kill me if you can.
Nice. This week, we did Scream. If you're hearing or viewing this, it's October. So, happy Halloween. Or something, you know? We're doing Scream this week. Charles got the COVID, so he's not here.
Got the goddamn suds.
He's got the suds, yeah. SpongeBob reference. So, yeah, we're going to do Scream. Dakota, what did you think of this film?
It was a nice little comical slasher film.
Yeah.
There was also a lot of, like, recognizable faces in this movie.
Indeed.
You had, you know, Courtney Cox, obviously Friends.
Yeah.
You had David Arquette, I think that's how you say his last name.
Yeah.
Arquette, you know, he's been in a lot of different comedy movies. Was it Jamie Kennedy?
Jamie Kennedy.
Was in, yeah, Malice Most Wanted as B-Rad. And then, I'm trying to think, what is his name? I don't know his actual real name.
Dude that played Shaggy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, Matt
Lillard.
Lillard. There we go.
Yeah.
It wasn't fucking loaded. So yeah, it was a lot of recognizable faces. So it wasn't a bad movie. Typical slasher. Like,
Yes.
although it was kind of more entertaining about this was the fact that, you know, the guy who's doing the slashing seemed to always get his ass whooped most of the times pretty quickly. Just he was not very good at fighting. Good at stabbing, not good at fighting.
Fantastic stabber. I think a lot of that, him getting his ass whooped, is like, I think a lot of the time it was too soon. He didn't want to get caught just yet. Or he didn't want to do the killing just yet. Like, the first time when, you know, he's chasing Sydney in the house when she's home alone and...
Yep, and extra.
I mean, I'm not writing anything down, so I'll go ahead. Oh, yeah. Okay, so, yeah, the first time he chases Sydney in the house, I don't think he quite wants to kill her yet.
Right.
Right.
Obviously.
Yeah, so...
Well, and, you know, you can't kill the main character first thing in the movie.
Exactly.
It's rules.
So I don't think he wanted to yet. And what I like about this movie is the fact that it is the active commentary about... I mean, kind of how we talk about movie rules on here. Oh, well, the villain has to give you the whole plan, and then say, I mean, they follow everything to a T, and they mention, oh, hey, I'm going to do this because it's,
Yeah.
you know, this is a horror story. And so, I mean, it's very self-involved, a self-involved horror movie. But I think it's fun. When I saw it the first time, I was like, oh yeah, we'll definitely do that in October. I watched it like back in December, actually. I hadn't seen it before.
This is actually my first time seeing it.
Yeah.
I'm always like, I don't know, I've always seen references about it. But
Yes.
like, I've never actively gone out like, let me watch Scream.
Yeah, I mean, it just never, like, I just never happened upon it on TV or anything.
Right.
I mean, I just, for whatever reason, this one always eluded me, and so when I first watched it, I was like, I like this, so.
I'd watch it again.
Yes, yeah. I watched it twice for this and
The movie purposes.
once a lot, you know, back in December. So You took notes today.
Okay, so
brief stuff.
it was so I was kind of writing down just like thoughts as the movie was going on, but then like I started getting to a point to where I was watching it more than I was taking notes. I was like, "Fuck!" Because
it gets away from you.
Because like I hit a point to where like I was pausing every couple seconds, like, let me write this down, and then I got started up again so I don't miss something. And I was like, oh, pause it, let me write this down. And I was like, okay, let me watch a movie, and then anything I'll just write down real quick, and then like it ended up being where like notes for like the first 15 minutes, and then there's like a note here, a note there, and then the end of the movie. And I'm like, okay.
See, what I do typically is I'll watch it once, all the way through, and then the second time, that's when I take notes and I'll do a lot of pausing. Because the first time I'm like, okay, I am just absorbing this movie. And then by the second time I watch it, I know what's going to happen. I know the story. I know the shit. So then I can watch for goofy things or, anything like that. So that second time, that is purely notes. I have unlimited on the pause at that point. So.
Well, I watch it one time, and
I know,
it's normally like the day before the podcast.
Yeah. It's all good. So I don't know. Do you want to have your or do you want?
I can read off some of mine.
Yeah.
So, just going in, just obviously order of the movie. Mm-hmm. My first note starts off with, and this is in the beginning, when she's talking on the phone with the killer, as they put in the subtitles, as they named him.
Yeah.
It's like, why is she carried on this conversation?
Yes.
Why has she continued this conversation? You got a boyfriend? Why? Do you want to date me?
Uh-huh.
Why?
My first note is, how much different is the first scene if she's just like, nah. And then every time the phone rings, she just goes like, I figure, alternatively, he's probably just going to come in and kill her.
Yeah.
If she doesn't answer the phone, he's like, okay.
But like, at least you can say, hey, I didn't answer the phone a million fucking times like an idiot.
Yeah.
So, then my second note is, why does no one lock their doors?
I know.
And how many doors is in that motherfucker house? Like,
a lot of doors.
Click. You want to click, and I'm like, why were none of them locked?
Well, I thought that's what she was going through doing the first time.
And then there's more doors.
And then she's like, oh no, I gotta lock the doors. And I was like, well, what were you just doing?
She was unlocking all of them.
She was expecting, what, Matt?
Well, you unlock one door when you're expecting something. Yes! So, like...
The front.
Yeah, you unlock the front door, or maybe if you normally use a side entrance or whatever, you unlock that one. But, like, you don't, like, I don't know, just let him pick a door. So, unlock. Why does no one have their doors locked?
I don't understand.
It's a must be a Midwest thing, even though the movie was in California.
There
we go, that's what it was. They were perfect prime for the Night Stalker. Well, kind of, too, so...
Yeah,
same fair.
State, right? Yeah, I think about that stupid Night Stalker thing sometimes. They're like, I'm from the Midwest. I don't lock my doors.
They're like, hold on.
Huh? I've lived in Ohio all my fucking life. And I
lock my doors.
I never like going to bed at night like, should I lock the door?
Nah. We're in the Midwest.
I'm in the Midwest. Like, come on, man.
You know what else is in the Midwest? Chicago.
Yeah. You lock your doors in Chicago? Yeah. That's what I thought.
So my second note is, you don't have to keep answering this phone.
Yes.
You, like, the phone, like, what are the odds that, like, you just had now 3 interactions with this person. Like, you hang up, and then a couple minutes later, like, oh, it must be someone different. Hello.
Or just, like, that the interaction's going to be different the 4th time around. That this person's going to change now. Like, sorry, I'm just trying to sell you soap. Like...
I'm just calling you about your car's extended warranty.
Yeah.
And then just fuck the popcorn, right? Like, how many opportunities she had to take that just, like...
It's not like a labor-intensive thing.
Just, like... You, like, mindlessly, just, like, even if you continue to answer the phones, okay, I need to go lock the door. She walked right by the popcorn. She could have just been like... And took it off.
Yeah.
Boom. Or just, like... Or, click.
Yeah, turn the stove on, anything.
She She looked at it, she thought about it, and she was like, nah. That time she took the thought about it, she could have just moved it. And then another comment on why there's so many fucking doors.
Yes.
So then this part here, so this is when they were doing like interviewing everyone in the fucking school.
Yes.
And like when the principal took the main character.
Let's stay on first night real quick.
Okay.
So you think Billy did the first night killings? Because when you find out in the end, spoilers, that it's the two of them. So then you start going through the story, and you're like, okay, well, who did what? Which one was Stu? Which one was Billy? So I think Billy had to be the first night, right? Because when they're all talking at the school, they do the whole thing. Stu goes, he's like, I didn't kill anybody. And then Billy's like, nobody said you did. And he's like, thanks, buddy. And it's like, so I think that means, because like I think that was like one of those moments. Looking back, that's what you get when you watch it the second time. Is you go like, oh, so he was sick because like that's legitimately truth there. He has the alibi. He was at Tatum's house or whatever, and I mean because that's what Tatum says that. He was like, oh, he was with me. And like, yeah, till what time? The whole deal. So I think Billy did that first night because then he's already out and he goes to Sydney's house. Yada yada.
I could see it. I don't know, because once you start like kind of thinking about it, you are sitting there trying to figure out who did which killing, because obviously there's only one costume.
Yes.
Well, there's more than one.
I mean,
costume.
they could have multiple costumes,
but like,
I guess
there was only one person there at a time.
Yes.
At least that we've seen.
Right.
I don't know, because I just feel like that first killing was really just to like get the attention of everyone, to shake up the town.
Yes. That was, it was the fire starter.
Yeah. Literally, his popcorn.
Yes, yeah. Stupid fucking Jiffy Pop.
When's the last time you made Jiffy Pop?
I don't think I've ever made Jiffy Pop in my life.
Never made Jiffy Pop. My mom made Jiffy Pop one time when I was younger.
Yeah.
Never made Jiffy Pop. I've never actively gone to the store and got some Jiffy Pop. You know what I go for? The microwave popcorn.
Yeah. Or, like, pre-made popcorn.
But you know what? I think I'm going to go to Meijer tomorrow and get some Jiffy Pop.
Don't answer the phone.
Good thing I don't answer anyway, because 99.9% of the time it's spam risk.
Sure.
Okay.
So I think it was Billy the first night.
Yeah.
We'll decide it was Billy, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then, still the first night, Billy sneaks into her window. They have their whole little thing. You kind of find out something's going on in their relationship where she's been swatting him away, ever since this thing. But they don't reveal it for a while. It turns out her mom was dead, and her mom had been kind of brutally murdered. And so it was a whole thing that traumatized her, and she was like, no sex, no sex.
So yeah, apparently her mom was a whore. At least that was like the...
It was the intended message.
Yeah, the intended message throughout the whole movie, apparently. I mean, I never met the woman, so...
Yeah, I mean, because apparently you find out, she slept with Billy's dad, and that's why his mom left, and I don't think because your mom left, you just get to kill people.
Right.
What? And then, not only is it enough, so now you've killed her mother, but now you're like, oh, I gotta kill. I mean, look, I'm not a psychopath, so...
I mean, a little bit.
Oh, okay.
A little bit.
Thanks for letting me know.
You're welcome. I'm here for you, buddy. I'm on your side. We're gonna kill these people together.
But that, that's his little motive, right? And I did read something about, like, in the original script that was written, they were kind of like, oh, there's... Like, we don't like motives. Like, so, like, their literal answer was just like, I don't believe in motives. We're just crazy, or something to that effect. And then I think I can't remember if it was the director that said it, or if it was maybe the producers that were like, well, we need a motive. So I I should have remembered more of it. I kind of forgot about that thing that I read just right up until now. So, otherwise,
You're thinking about it all the way till we press record, and you're like, "Fuck, what was that?"
yeah. Yeah. So, and then you have that first scene at the school where they're like everything, which is where you were.
Right.
I think my comment on that first thing where Tatum and Sydney are walking in the school, I think that is the worst acting of the entire movie. It's just that like fake ass weird conversation between Tatum and Sydney, and they're all like, "Oh wow, stuff happened last night. Oh, I sit next to her. Oh, I don't know. Something about that conversation was just the fucking worst to me. Like, I like this movie a lot, but like that was so bad. Just that little conversation.
We would never have a conversation like that.
No. So your critique. So your comments on that scene where they're interviewing everybody.
Mine is when they're interviewing everyone and they call Casey an interviewer, and it was very weird to me the fucking chin caress that the principal did.
Yes.
Casey's chin. She Sydney. Yeah, sorry. On Sydney's chin. It was weird.
Yes, it was. And I like Henry Winkler. You know Henry Winkler. Fonz. Hey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was goofy. I feel like they kind of gave you... What I like about this is you never truly know. It is a big mystery. And I did watch Scream 2 this week because I wanted to know if anything tied in. Like, maybe it wasn't actually resolved or something to that effect. No, the ending of one is the ending of one. It's not, like, tied into the next one. I mean, there's, like, a copycat thing in 2. That's all that happens.
Right.
I was just wondering if they were tied together. That's why I watched 2 this week. Anyhow, end that comment. Oh, yes. What I liked about this was that they kept doing things to make you think, oh, maybe this guy... Like, I feel like I felt Dewey was the killer at one point. I thought that, the principal was it for like 4 seconds. And then after the knock on the door and he's all scared, I was done thinking the principal might have done it. But there was just those little moments of like, oh, maybe the principal. Oh, maybe this guy. Oh, maybe this guy. Like the moment they show the sheriff's boot when he puts the cigarette out, and then you're like, oh, there's the dude in the stall at the bathroom at the school who had boots on when he slid the costume down, and I was like, the sheriff? Stuff like that.
It's like a giant game of Clue.
Yes. Yeah. So that's something I really liked about it, is just you really didn't know at any point. And if you did know, then you're lying to yourself. Unless you just were like, Billy, all the way. Then you're like, you were half right.
You're like, you know what? I just don't trust people with the name Billy. Like, how old are you? Go by Bill or William. Billy, what are you, 5? You gotta be a serial killer.
I rest my case. Well, I just thought...
Grow the fuck up.
Yeah, right. And that was the other thing. That's why I didn't think Billy. Was because I thought they typecast him too much as, like, the crazy kid who's always looking through his eyebrows at people and always kind of talking weird. Doing that kind of shit. So that's why I wrote him off, because I thought that's red herring completely. Can't be Billy. Just too obvious of an answer. Too obvious of a possibility. Was what I thought. And then I was half wrong. Because if you thought Stu, you were half right. If you thought Billy, you were half right. And there's no way that you thought Billy, Stu, teaming up. There's no way. If you say that that's what you thought, I don't fucking believe you. So no, I don't mean you. I'm not saying you're. I'm saying anyone commenting.
Really? You hurt my feelings.
Don't believe it. Who did you think it was? Or at what point in the movie did you form an opinion of who it might be?
I fell for the good old trick of I was thinking, I was like, oh, maybe it is the dad.
Yeah.
Because, just like his just disappearance, and then, his cell phone was linked to being called into the house, and I was like, maybe.
Yes. I it changed for me
Yeah.
a lot during the movie.
And then I'm like, well, maybe it's fucking Billy.
When Billy came in all creepy, my thought process the very first time I watched it, like in December, was, okay, Billy's weird. It's Billy. And then immediately following that whole little scene, because that whole scene at the school where they're all talking and going, it couldn't be you, and that whole thing, everybody's got an alibi. At that point, I said, okay, it's none of them. That was my first thought there. I was just like, nope, none of them. I just ruled all the kids out. So then I thought, the next thing I thought was the principal, because he was being all weird, the interrogation, and then he's sitting there with the mask going like, and I was like, oh, this dude's fucking crazy. But then there was the knock thing, and he's looking around, and I said, okay, not the principal. And then the shit about the dad came out, and I go, the dad, for sure. Then the sheriff had the boots, and I went, sheriff.
So, pretty much, I think we both fell
I fell for every fucking red herring that they get. They're like, maybe some of that. If I was a fish, I'd have got hooked so many times. Everything they did was just boots, sheriff. Dewey's being weird with the flashlight, coming up behind people. I was like, Dewey. And then...
How? So, after they went and, what's her name? Sydney, got all shook up from when the killer went to her house the first time.
Mm-hmm.
How fucked up are kids to sit there and do the whole, run down the fucking hallway and to scream? And
no shit.
That is so fucked up.
Another bad acting moment, though, where she was like, why are they doing this? I was like, okay.
There was, and this is kind of doubling back to, a couple scenes before, when they're all sitting on that, bench or whatever.
Yeah, they're
having that fucking, the banter and everything like that. And I made a note, and I said, this is such a 90s conversation that's going on right now.
Absolutely.
It's completely 90s. Holy, everything you can imagine about a 90s white group of friends that probably listens to Nirvana would talk about is what they are talking about.
We got the video store. I love that he goes, didn't they fire you? He's like, yeah, twice. Nice.
Yeah, that was...
Yeah, there's a lot going on there. Very 90s, very, very 90s. Alright, so then... Yeah, I kind of skipped around notes because we were just kind of jumping around there. So the attack on the first attack on Sydney. I think Billy and Stu had to be at the house for that one. Right? Because Stu's running around the costume. Then all of a sudden, Billy's got the phone. He walks in the window.
He comes in through the window and drops the phone as he gets in. Because one moment you have...
And I think that was part of the plan.
Yeah, you have the killer at the door, in which, how conveniently placed is that fucking closet door to the main door that it just wedges the doorknobs.
Yeah.
That's convenient.
Yes.
I mean, I guess that, they should install something like that in classrooms now, but,
Yeah. None. Yeah, we'll dive into that
So, in one moment he's there, next thing you know, here comes fucking Billy through the window and gone. I'm like, yeah, you can't move that fast.
I was thinking there's no way he got out. That house is fucking big and it's fucking nice.
Let's talk about the fact that she had her own entrance to her room, up the steps, and there's a little door right there went right into her room. I'm like,
the deck outside is just this. I mean, it wraps around most of the house. I loved.
I'd kill just to get that house.
Yeah. So there's no way he goes away from the door. Takes. I mean, maybe it was just him.
Usain Bolt speed.
I mean, if you think about it, he just has to go out on the deck and crawl over to the roof a little bit. Get in there. So maybe he just... But see, the thing that throws me off there is I think Stu had to leave. Also, why was 911 there so fast? Because the phone was fucked up or whatever. I think they disconnected the phone line or some shit. She goes, shit, right? And then she types 911 on the computer, and she's, she doesn't even finish that process.
Which, let's poke a hole in this. The movie was 1996, so any internet she had was dial-up. So if the phone line's disconnected, no dial-up.
True.
No internet.
Yeah.
So, just putting that out there.
Little things, yeah.
Little things.
So she didn't even get done with that. Even if the supposed, if it did somehow work. To me, more though, I feel like if the line's dead, it's not that isn't it just like silence?
Yeah, it's nothing.
Yeah. So
is like if you remember when everyone had a house phone. If you took the house phone off the hook for too long and it din 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 din. You ever remember that?
She probably didn't hang up the phone downstairs before she got chased.
Yeah, there it is. We just figured it out. Yeah, because I used to do like either if the call would end.
So that's why.
You kept the, the phone on off the hook.
Mm-hmm.
That's a term that we never use anymore.
Yeah.
Or like there's the only thing I think of, because that tone only if you keep the phone off the hook, or if like you literally just pick up the phone, it's din, and you just let it sit for like 30 seconds, and it goes din 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 din.
Yeah.
Telling you, hey, hang this motherfucker up and try again.
Right. So that's the thing. So how would he have found the mask? Because if Billy's in the back, even if that was just Billy, and he got around that quick, how do they find the mask unless he just plants a mask for the sheriff to find, or maybe like threw it off the side? But again,
maybe he had multiple.
The police had to have been called prior to Sydney doing it, because there's no way they just show up like that. So I think Billy was out there, he did the voice thing, and then I think Stu started the chase, and I think Billy called 911, because I think getting caught was all part of that plan.
Well, yeah, because
they don't like go completely into it and give you a breakdown of what the ideas were and everything. I mean, they give you the gist. We killed your mom, and then we're going to kill you, and your dad, we framed him, and all, do all this shit, and then they're crazy, and they're stabbing each other, and it's like, what? We can talk about that at the end of the movie, yeah. But, they didn't really go through it detail by detail, so I think you just kind of got to put some of it together, and I think him getting caught was on purpose, and then I think that Stu probably had the voice changer that night. I don't think Billy called from jail, because if you're in jail, they take everything from you. So I don't think there's any way he's still got the voice changer and he's at the phone in jail with the voice changer. So I think Stu had the voice changer. Stu was in the costume. Stu scared her. Billy's out there, drops his cell phone. Stu probably leaves the voice changer somewhere for Stu to grab it before he runs off. Billy intentionally gets caught. I think that's that scene.
It's fair.
Yeah. What's my next one? Why does Tatum have 2 beds in her room? She have I don't know.
Maybe it's like every other day, like you just switch beds.
Maybe. Or maybe she just has a lot of sleepovers. I don't know. I just thought that when they're both sitting in there, and because she punched Gail Weathers in the face at the police station. She was
that was
trying to talk to her. Yeah.
I got a note on that is, by God, were fucking reporters just so goddamn annoying back in the day? Because, like, you refer to, like, some of the serial killer, like, documentaries we watch, like, reporters are just fucking annoying. Like, I'm gonna get the information on this one way or the other. Let us in.
And I'm all for, like, freedom of press, freedom of speech, all of that. But there is
a limit.
Yeah, like don't.
There's a line.
When
There's
we're
a
watching
line.
those serial killer docs and the journalists are getting, they're putting the investigation in jeopardy. If this killer finds out what we have on him, he's just going to change all that, and then it's starting all over again. And that you have to. I don't know. That's irresponsible. There's responsible journalists and irresponsible journalists. And definitely, although you kind of figure out Gail Weathers was, I mean, other than being incredibly pushy to Sydney, out behind the police station and all that. But you kind of figure out she was being a responsible journalist because Cotton wasn't actually guilty, and there was all that Cotton weary.
Did you, this kind of jump a little farther ahead, but did you believe that the flirtation between Gail and the officer, what's his name? Dewey, was legit at first? I just thought it was like some kind of tactic for her.
I thought she was doing a tactic at first, but then when they meet at the house party later, it seemed legit, and then she goes down the road, and they're kind of... And I still thought it was kind of a gimmick, and then they're on the ground.
Then they kiss.
And she's like kind of wanting more, and then he's like, oh, I'm on duty. And then she laughs or whatever. I think at that point it was legit. But no, at first I definitely thought it was a con, yes.
At first I was like, she's just trying to fucking flirt and get her
way into something, yeah.
Get some information.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's definitely what I thought. Yeah, Stu had to... Yeah, I said Stu had to have called. Billy couldn't have had the changer in jail. I like when Dewey runs out of his bedroom after they're like, Dewey! He's like, what? He runs out with his gun, and you're like, Jesus Christ, dude. And I also kind of sort of thought it was Dewey in that moment because, the dude is done on the phone by the time Billy comes out there with the gun. And I was like, oh, is Dewey sitting in his room calling? I don't know. Anyway. Just to, but my process of the it's this guy, Stu, what does that say? Stu is in the bathroom. Billy. Oh, I think Stu was in the bathroom at the school because Billy had just got done talking to her. Like the person, whoever was in the costume in the bathroom when she got attacked in the bathroom, had to have already been in there.
Uh-huh.
So I think, Stu and Tatum are standing that she's talking to them. Why are they doing this? Terrible acting. And then she walks away. I think Stu goes to class, but I think he goes hides in the bathroom.
Because somehow he knows she's going to go in the bathroom.
Right.
And could you just imagine, like you're in there and, you're not sure she's going to go to the bathroom, but, she might. So, for the next 3 hours, you're just on the toilet like this.
Right. I mean, you think she's coming?
Kind of peeking through the crack between the stalls, and you're like, is she in here yet? God damn, my legs are getting tired.
Although, maybe it was Billy. Oh, well, here was the other part of that scene, because I was watching Stupid Details and I rewound it a couple times. It wasn't, one of them had to have changed into black jeans, because whoever was in the stall had black jeans on. And then if you look in the scene before, Stu's wearing gray jeans, and the only time they show Billy's pants is when she walks away, and there's a little further shot of her walking away, and him going, ah, and he's got blue jeans on. So whoever did it had to change into black jeans, and you've never seen either of their shoes. But if you're going to change jeans, might as well change shoes. So maybe that's what it was. It could have been Billy, though, because I guess he could have... Because he does his little thing where he's like, stupid. Which I thought was a little cheesy. And then she walks in there. Maybe when they're out there talking... But I don't see how he sneaks in if those cheerleaders are sitting there looking in the mirror and then they just don't see a guy walking in.
In all black.
In all black with a fucking... Maybe he doesn't have the mask on at the moment, but I think you notice that there's a dude in the girls' bathroom if you're those girls. So I think it had to have been Stu stowed away in the bathroom. Again, how the fuck does he know she's going to the bathroom?
And also, you went to high school, right? I went to high school.
I think a little bit.
There's more than one bathroom, right?
Yeah! To predict which bathroom, unless they coordinated, I'm gonna be over here, and I'm gonna run into Sydney, and then she's probably gonna want to cry after she talks to me, so she'll probably go in that bathroom over there. But that seems like an incredible amount of planning, which they had to have had to pull this whole thing off anyway.
Also, why the fuck was that hallway where the stairs come up at look like just a house hallway?
Yeah.
Like the just how narrow the stairs were and the banister, like it looked like you were walking upstairs in a house. I was like,
yeah, it was
weird.
a little goofy.
It's weird.
Odd location. More of a that whole thing had more of a maybe that's L.A. or I don't know if they're in L.A. but maybe that's California high schools.
Never been, so
Yeah, I know, me either.
I just live in the Midwest and don't lock
because they
my
had like
doors.
a whole campus.
Yeah.
What high school has a campus?
Apparently, California. You ever seen? I mean,
I suppose every high school to a degree if they have a football stadium.
Did you ever watch Zoe 101?
I guess to a certain degree, if there's the football field over here, there's maybe the practice fields, they got baseball diamonds. So I guess to a degree, it's a campus, but...
It's not a campus.
It's not a campus. I mean, they had all these outdoor seating areas and stuff. I mean, it just seemed very college-like.
My school would never give us outside seating areas. They know, like, they're just going to fucking walk out and go home. They're just going to fucking walk away.
I remember in high school we had, like all the school hallways, it all wrapped around, there was a courtyard. So the building, it was completely encased by the building, the courtyard was, and then they never let anybody out there. Ever. Like maybe sometimes you'd get to go out there for a class for like once in a while. I think I'd been out there maybe once or twice in all my years in high school. And then like senior year, they said, seniors can eat lunch out here. I'm like, oh, okay. And I ate lunch out there a couple times with Harley and another friend of ours, Charlie.
And you were like, this sucks.
And, well, Harley, won't tell his story, but for whatever reason, he wasn't there anymore after like the first couple months. And then our friend Charlie, his lunch period got changed. So then I didn't have anybody to sit with. So I definitely wasn't going out in the courtyard. And I started sneaking out and leaving for lunch. So, anyhow. What part of the movie is your next note?
It jumps all the way to the party.
Okay. My next note, apparently I was just complimenting the movie. I said they did a great job of red herrings, the dad thing, not to mention the boots of the chief, showing Scream in the store. I was just calling him Scream. I mean, that's the movie, right? That was a logistics thing I didn't get. They show Scream in the store, and then when Tatum and Sydney are at the house talking on the deck about her mom, and then Scream is out in the trees back there, which was kind of goofy to me, because they both are shown previously in the video store. So someone like running out real quick after that conversation, I gotta go stand by Sydney's house, or Tatum's house. I don't know, it seemed goofy to show him in the store. Also, if everybody's looking for a dude in a fucking goofy ass mask, how the hell did he get in the store? I don't know. There's a lot there.
What school would cancel in the event of a serial killer?
Well, she was attacked in the bathroom. So... But it also seems a little reckless to just have everybody walking home.
You're like, hey, we don't want you getting killed in here.
It's a liability thing. It's a whole big deal.
Be safe, but we don't want you being killed in here.
Yeah. Be safe. Somewhere else.
Out there.
Yeah. Okay, so who killed Tatum in the garage? We're in the party now. Because Billy wasn't there all night. I think maybe Stu planned it. Because Stu goes, hey Tatum, get some beers from the garage.
I'm going with Stu on that one.
You still think Stu did it?
On that one, yeah.
Because he's chilling in the party in his little robe or whatever. and he doesn't really leave. And so I was wondering if he kind of planned that out, like, hey, go in the garage. Because I think Billy's probably... Because Billy doesn't show up till later. So Stu's got the alibi of, I'm at the party, I didn't do shit. And then, you know, Billy... Of course, Billy doesn't have the alibi there. I don't know. But you think it was Stu?
I think it was Stu.
I think it's... The only reason I think it's Billy is because I find it... I mean, you're in a house full of people, and then you gotta... I don't know, I guess duck into a closet, like fucking Superman ducking into a phone booth, and you gotta change out your robe, you gotta throw the shit on, throw the mask on, and then go out in the garage, and then kill Tatum. And then, are you telling me no one went in the garage the whole time for a beer? Like, Sydney was the first person to see Tatum in the, you know, hanging off the garage door.
Especially when everyone's running out of the house.
Yes!
I thought that was going to be the point they were going to see it, and then my note on that scene is, that is one strong-ass garage door opener.
Yeah.
Because, like, that little 1.5 horsepower did some fucking damage.
Yeah.
Also, I feel like, even back then, garage door openers had the safety mechanism to where if it felt too much resistance, it would stop.
Yeah.
Because my great-grandparents, their house, when they were alive, had a garage door opener that was installed in the 80s. And it had the sensors at the bottom, too, and everything. I was like, I feel like...
I mean, yeah, most garages have that little laser...
Yeah, the little sensors at the bottom.
I mean, yeah. I mean, not laser. I don't know what I call it. I guess, like...
Like an infrared light.
Yeah.
Laser.
Yeah, that one seemed not like...
I just feel like, you know, at some point, either the garage door would be like... Garage door opener would be like... Hey, maybe the door's up all the way. I'll stop.
Yeah.
Or like...
Although maybe he had reprogrammed the garage door opener.
So, like...
For whatever reason, it's not going up. So then maybe he's got, like, a manual control. And maybe that's why it is Stu, because he knows his garage door opener. I don't know.
There we go.
It just still... I don't know. I personally think it's got to be Billy. Agree to disagree. As far as their talk in the bedroom, Billy and Sydney, I just said, false. A woman would never say something was their fault. Moving on.
You got a point.
Did you think the killer was Dewey when he went for a walk with Gale Weathers?
No.
No?
I never thought, honestly, the whole
Never
movie,
thought it was Dewey?
I never thought it was Dewey.
The only reason I thought it was because of the way Tatum treats him. Tatum's just a fucking dick, and he's already... I mean, he expresses when he's talking to Gale Weathers the whole deal about, Dewey's a nickname they gave me to, not take me seriously in this town, that whole thing. Excuse me. So, I don't know, that's why
Yeah, I just
didn't think it was Dewey. Smart.
Just didn't think it was Dewey.
Smart, it wouldn't have been right, so. Okay, so after they do the whole Sydney and Billy have sex, it was at that moment I no longer thought Billy was involved. I started suspecting Stu because when Dewey's out there and he finds the car, I no longer thought Dewey was involved. So I kind of started suspecting Stu because everybody had started kind of clearing out of the party. Randy's the only one left sitting there watching the movie, and so I'm going, well, unless Stu's dead somewhere, I think it's Stu coming in here, killing Billy. I still hadn't ruled out Randy. But then, of course, when Randy's sitting on the couch and
if I can walk
they're about to get him, and then I go, oh, okay. So, not Randy. At that point, who did you think, Stu, or did you think still maybe the dad?
I was still kind of leaning towards the dad.
Yeah. For whatever reason, the way the station wagon was stowed away there, it took me away from the dad. Because it just didn't look... Who parks their shit in a bunch of trees intentionally, right?
Someone who wants to make it look like they crashed.
Okay, that's a fair point. I just thought the way it looked, it seemed more hostile takeover-y. to me. And I don't know. I guess it was at that point I go, oh, it's Stu. Which, half right.
50% right. I
don't think anyone watching this was 100% right.
Watching the first time was like, I bet you it's those two guys.
Yeah, no one.
No one.
No one.
No one. Oh, probably no one.
There's no fucking way. Maybe the writer.
Maybe there's one person that was like, I bet you there's two people.
Well, they just do, and I guess it's the mistake that you would make watching it the first time, just going, oh, I trust these people, because that whole first scene does a very good job, because you're not looking at Stu and Billy. The whole movie you're going, okay, the hell, you're just looking for someone to point at,
and you're just fucking catching all the bait.
And the dad does seem like a fucking prime candidate. Dad, yep. The dad, to his cell phone. There's his car. Yeah, see, it's the dad.
Has to be the dad.
Has to be the dad. Wrong. Okay, continuity issue. Not continuity. Physics? I don't know. When Kenny's on top of the van, she backs up, stops, and he slides down forward.
Yeah.
Didn't make any sense.
No.
You know, just saying.
I'm sorry, Kenny, but get the hell out of my van.
Right.
That's a little disrespectful.
A little bit. That's why she said sorry. See, it's okay now. Isn't... So...
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
The scene where Sydney was running into the news van.
Yes.
Never been in a news van a day in my life. Seen them.
Sure.
Never been in one. But, like, it didn't make sense to me how you walk in the door and you have, all your editing equipment right there, your monitors and all that, and she goes underneath that, which is right, like, up against, like, the driver's side, kicks out a panel, and then somehow comes out the back of the van.
Yeah, I don't know that that's how that works.
And I was like...
Certainly seems off to me.
I was like, there's no way that she just, like, kicked out a panel that's up against the side of the vehicle on the driver's side, and then all of a sudden she's coming out the back. And I was like...
Yeah, well, and, like, is there really just this, like, divide from there to the back of the van? I don't know, it seems... yeah,
well,
I've never known the layout of a news van, so...
I think...
I am talking out of my ass here, but...
The only thing I think of is like... I know, obviously, they have their little editing studio broadcast center inside the van itself.
Sure.
I think maybe some of them at the backside will have, like, will have monitor... Will have another, like, little wall built with, like, monitors and everything so they can see and report back to the studio. So while they're reporting, so they can see what's on TV. They know when they're on and stuff like that. Because, I mean, I've seen that, whenever people are broadcasting, there always is, like, most of the time there is, like, a small fucking TV, like, behind the cameraman so they can see what's on when they go live. So, I think that part is accurate. But the part where she fucking kicks out that panel and pops out the back, and I'm like,
yeah,
that doesn't make sense to me. But I could be wrong. If we have any news reporters listening, chime in.
Send us an email at contentcrisishotline@yahoo.com. So Gail Weathers comes. So Sydney is effectively captured by Stu and Billy. Everything is revealed to her. Randy is shot on the ground. You'd think a couple of killers would know where to shoot someone if you don't want them to get up. They shoot him in the right shoulder. Not exactly a kill shot. You want to go left chest. Go for the heart over here. The
Maybe
vital
like,
over here. Maybe
forehead.
the head. There's the vital organ up there.
Just a little thing that's important. A
Yeah.
little bit.
Whatever.
Yeah, I mean...
But Gail Weathers effectively comes in and is going to save the day. Everything's revealed to Sydney. Gail Weathers has said the whole thing, and then she goes, "Oh, how about this? How about an ending? How's this for an ending?" The newswoman left for dead in the van comes to and comes in and saves the day. And then, Billy's not scared at all. But here's the deal. She pulls out the gun, and it's like, shh, sound, right? is that... I mean, guns don't just go...
No.
When you move them. So is that sound not the fucking safety being pulled back, ready to fire the gun?
Well, let's also be fair. When's the last time you pulled out a knife and went shwing, shwing?
Very fair. Maybe
a
cheesy sound effect.
I want. If I can find a knife that every single time I pull it out and doesn't go shwing, I'm buying it. Simple as that. You're gonna hear me in the kitchen cook shwing, shwing,
Sure.
shwing.
Yeah. But my thing was, is that okay? When the principal's waving those scissors around in between those two kids, and you go, "This can't be okay." He's just holding it next to the... What if that kid sneezed? I don't know, man.
Also, the sound effects there, like,
Yeah, scissor sound effects, and you're gunning right up to kids' faces. Doesn't seem okay to me. But back to the end of the movie here. Just saying, pretty sure that's the safety being pulled back when it's right.
that or being cocked.
Right, which would also imply the safety stuff, right?
Yeah.
So, I'm not a gun expert here. I've just watched a lot of movies. So for her to be struggling with it and the safety's not on, what the hell was... But, moving on. I have... You got anything for the end?
The end part where what's his name? Randy was like,
Never been so happy.
or was it Randy or Sydney was like, this is the part of the movie where the
okay, that's the very, very end. Hold up on that.
okay.
I think the last 4 to 5 stabs were not part of the plan on Stu. I think Billy was just mad at Stu.
That was
because he stabbed him excessively. The one I get, and maybe like a couple slices upper body or some shit, to make it look like you're left dead. But that's a lot of stabs if you're looking to survive. And then Billy only gets the one. What's that about?
That was a little psychotic right there. They'll just stab each other.
I mean, I understand what they're trying to do.
But
maybe slice each other up rather than... Stabbing is very dangerous. Not that slicing is a safe activity.
Slicing is safer than
stabbing. Yeah. I mean, you might need stitches, but there's not a lot of internal bleeding going on after you slice someone on the outside.
Like, if you ask me if I had an accident in the kitchen, would I rather have accidentally sliced myself or stabbed myself? I'm going with slicing.
In the stomach.
I'm going with slicing.
I'm going with slice. For sure. I think I might also want to have sliced something off rather than stab myself in the stomach. Just a thought.
He's like up against the fucking counters. Stu, he's like, I'm losing a lot of blood, man.
Yeah. And he just doesn't care. He's like, come on, get the... Well, you caught me good, man. I really like... I really like his acting in that last scene, for example, I have 2 quotes for the whole movie that I thought were worthy of writing down. And they're both from him, and they're both in this final scene here. She gets away because of the whole Gail Weathers situation. Sydney does. And then she's calling them. So she's, oh, how the turntables, to quote Michael Scott. And she says, what's your plan? What's your motive? And he's like, what are you going to blame? And he's like, oh, peer pressure. I'm far too sensitive. I thought that was great. I also kind of believe that for Stu. I think he's just dumb enough to go along with something crazy because he's bored and stupid. And then he throws the phone at him, and he's like, he hit me with the phone, man. He picks up the phone, and he's talking to her. Hey, did you really call the cops? She's like, you bet your ass I did. He's like, my mom and dad are gonna be so mad at me.
Yeah, his character was comical.
Yeah, even in the end when you find out he's a psycho killer,
comical.
Still a comical character. So all the shit comes to a head. Stu gets a TV dropped on his head, electrocuted.
Which,
not sure if that's how that works.
It's not.
Also, continuity thing. think it's a different TV stand in that part. Because in the living room, there's a TV stand big enough that there's like a VCR, and then Gail Weathers was able to slide a camera onto the shelf, and it was filming the room.
Oh, yeah.
So where was the big entertainment center? It's like they changed it just for that scene, probably. Whatever.
On top of that,
I don't know that TVs do that.
no, it is very hard to break an old CRT TV screen. The glass is fucking thick.
Yeah.
I've attempted to break it before. In my younger days.
Yeah.
And they are, number one, they're extremely hard to break. Never broke one because you take a lot of fucking force to break it. Number two, it's also vacuum sealed, so as soon as you break it fucking vacuum pops. But a fall from a TV stand like that tall,
It was like 2 feet off the ground-ish. Yeah.
Onto someone's face, it's not going to just bust like that.
No, she's got a hard fucking head.
It'll definitely fucking hurt your head.
Yeah.
Like, it might not kill you. I mean, it looked like, what, like a 32-inch TV? Something like that. It doesn't look that fucking big.
Maybe.
I mean,
32, maybe.
I mean, granted, they're fucking heavy, but, like, they're not heavy enough to fucking smash your head from 2 feet off the ground.
Yeah.
It'll
hurt.
It'll give you a concussion.
It'll hurt like shit.
You'll have a concussion, but you
Yeah.
won't be smashed. And it won't just start electrocuting up out of the back.
Also, do you think you can get stabbed that bad with the umbrella?
Yeah,
Certainly
I don't
stabbed
know.
the shit out of Billy with that umbrella. I don't know that that's going that deep. It'll fucking hurt again.
I mean, it was the
Probably
90s.
hurt,
It
but do
was
you
the
think it's-
90s. Maybe umbrellas had points on them.
Maybe they're just sharper.
Yeah. I mean, then
Of course, it was still like a perfect oval was his wound, or not perfect oval. A perfect little circle was his wound.
It could have been like
Yeah.
sharp on the end, like a needle, and then just went.
I mean, I guess with enough force.
with enough force, you can put
You-
anything through anything.
You're right. I just don't know that Sydney had all that force in her.
Especially
because I think she's
coming out of
standing
the
in a closet. Yeah.
So, like, you're not getting a running start. You're just kind of coming out like, ugh.
Right. It was all that rage, I don't know. But they do. So, okay. So, yes, your last scare comment. Because everything's kind of come to a head. And
Yeah, just kind of like, this is a part of the movie where the killer makes one last jump scare or whatever. Then, of course,
And he didn't try. I watched that one a couple of times. He literally does his little yell and just sits there and waits for the gunshot. He's like, bah! Kind of goofy.
Maybe this is just because I've seen enough, like, I've played enough, like, horror video games or whatever, but, like, after you're down on the ground, like, especially someone who's just a fucking mass killer, I got a gun, I'm fucking just going to shoot you in the head to make sure it's done and over with. Like, I'm not doing that whole, like, yeah, I'm going to walk away, because he's probably dead. And I'm making sure you're dead. Like, I'm not just going to walk away and then, like, the typical thing, I'm walking away, going out the door, and all of a sudden,
Yeah.
this here's a pistol.
Well, the funny thing to me was they say that and then they just wait for it to happen. It's like, okay, we'll just
Just fucking do it.
if you mention it, just go ahead. And she goes, not in my movie. I'm like, it just happened.
Just happened in your movie.
And that's funny because she does just shoot the lady in the head in the next movie. Oh, she shoot the lady. Spoilers on Scream 2. Which I don't think we're doing this month anyway. So anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You'll forget about it.
I mean, we could.
Uh,
There's still kind of an open slot, so maybe I don't know. We'll see.
We'll talk about it.
As what would you rate this movie? I'm still going on letter grades. Don't let that affect you. You can do whatever.
I'll do letter mix. I think I've been doing letters past.
Since you mentioned letters,
Yeah.
I'll go with C+. It
Yeah.
wasn't. I mean, I think it was a good slasher.
Yeah.
Like, I'd watch it again, but like, is it like, am I watching it because it's just an all over great movie? No, I'd watch it again because I mean, it had some comical effect to it.
Yeah.
It was fun. I like people getting stabbed.
And it's got the Halloween vibe. I like watching scary movies in October. Like all month, I just like watching scary movies.
What do you give it?
Well, I wrote some stuff down. As a movie, it says probably a C. Just as a movie as a whole.
Okay.
But if we're going into the what fits and where, I'm probably saying that I'm saying that as a slasher, and the script, the way the story is, even though there's a little, there's a little lack of continuity, or, lack of credibility, I suppose, in some parts. I still say, as far as a horror movie storyline, that as far as a slasher, it's a fucking A. But as a movie, just a straight up movie, I think it's a C. That was kind of unintentional. I don't know why I was like that. As a slasher, I think it's a fucking A. Just within the genre, I think it gets an A. I think it's great. But yeah. So that's my take on it. Any lasting comments?
Maybe we're next.
Oh no, not spam risk.
What are the fucking odds?
I mean, we should answer it, right?
I mean, nah. So that brings me to my next question. Would this movie work in 2022?
Oh no.
I mean, we just proved the point it would not work.
It would not work. We were like, no.
Nah.
Should we answer it? No.
Nah.
No, we shouldn't do that.
Look at that. Now we're alive. I would answer to maybe, like... And especially on the first interaction, like...
I mean, although maybe somebody will come charging in this window any second. Should we just... Okay, I don't think so.
I think we're good. Yeah, it would not work in 2022.
No.
Not at all. I can't help but the whole time I'm watching this movie, I just keep on in my mind just thinking of Scary Movie.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Or fucking... Especially the fucking Dewey. Just come thinking of Officer Doofy.
Yeah. Well, and they get that because when he got stabbed in the back in the next movie, he's like, "Oh, I got a severed nerve in the back," and so he's doing this with his hand. So like his other side's not, but like his one hand's like he's doing a lot of this, and so that's where they get the whole.
Well, also his character was very just
doofus.
Dumb.
Yeah. So
like, I definitely just see the fucking.
Yeah.
Just I think I'm gonna watch a Scary Movie this weekend now.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's on any. I know Scary Movie. I don't know if it's on any streaming platforms. I looked it up later, but.
All right. Let's close this one down.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching or listening.
Or both.
Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. You can Twitter us at Content Crisis 1 or Content Crisis Hotline yahoo.com. You can email us. We encourage feedback or suggestions or tell us why
we're wrong.
This program's so terrible. Whatever.
Hey,
thanks for watching or listening, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.